Hello, beautiful Taurus friends. Welcome to our April chat and the beginning of Taurus season. Happy birthday, beautiful Taurus friends. I appreciate your energy so much. I learn so much from Taurus all the time. And of course, right now, this is such a powerful time for Taurus. We have the North Node in Taurus. We have Uranus in Taurus, and we are beginning eclipse season this month. So once we get into Taurus season, we're going to have our first eclipse of eclipse season on April 30th in your sign, new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So we are working with some pretty potent energy, I would say, in your sign. And this is really a full circle moment. I think in so many ways, this upcoming Taurus season is going to be quite potent for you. And one of the ways that I kind of feel this showing up is in new signposts starting to be important in your life. And this can be a little bit of a disorienting process to have new signposts of just kind of telling how you're on your path, what it feels like, what is kind of like meant for you, all of that stuff, because we'll have kind of like a natural rhythm for a few years of kind of like what feels like, yeah, I know I'm in my rhythm. And then when we're going through big transitions, big growth, big moments, and just natural elliptical kind of like cycles where we just kind of are shifting and transforming, suddenly we'll have new signposts where how we kind of gauge what we're feeling like, what's feeling good, what's working with our lives is changing and shifting. And it can be a little bit like, okay, where do I look for that aha, yes moment? So one of the things I want to mention as we move into your season on the 19th when the sun moves into Taurus, and as we move toward eclipse season and all of that, is to kind of relax and get curious about what signposts want to come in, and just getting relaxed enough to hear and see them is going to be really, really important. Also, very important, especially with North Node work, when things can be easy, let them be easy. Let them be easy. There are, of course, things that are very challenging in life. Griefs we have to go through is not easy. It is hard. There are confusing bureaucratic processes that sometimes don't feel very easy either. But sometimes there are things, when there are things that are easy, we got to let them be easy and allow those places to have ease, so that when we have to do the hard things like grieving, like processing, like healing, we can use our energy for those things. And we can enjoy the things that can be easy with fun. So there's just a reminder there as well, too. We can get very, it's a time of growth and expansion. I got to like push hard, but no. I feel like North Node in Taurus is all about letting things be easy where they can be easy. This is the other side of Taurus. Taurus so often gets kind of teased for being about like pushing hard and working really hard, which is definitely a Taurus thing. Just going full force into things. But the other side of Taurus is this Empress energy of allowance and allowing beautiful things to fulminate. Justice came out. Now, it's not just Taurus season, eclipse season, all of that. Of course, we have Aries season first, and we have a ton of energy in Pisces during this Aries season. We have Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune all in Pisces this month. Ace of Wands, I love it. Which means that we are continuing to do a lot of behind the scenes work even while we start moving through Aries and Taurus this month. So with that in mind, Piscean energy is great for Taurus. This can be so good for community, for connection, for dreaming, for healing. This is also a great time for compassion and connection in general with all that energy in Pisces. Knight of Cups, very romantic. Yeah, I mean, in general, this is a beautiful month when it comes to the astrology. There's a lot of really beautiful elements, but I would say for the collective, the main theme is healing. Nine of Swords. Okay, I'm going to pull one card from my Animal Totem Tarot to round out our chat today, and then we'll get into these cards and these messages. Death. All right, the Vulture. We'll get into that in a moment. Okay. Well, I would say, Taurus, you have quite the range of cards. And I think when we get to eclipse season, there's some interesting transformation going on there for you, which is eclipse season is basically Taurus season this year. It's all happening during your birthday time. So this is a very transformational moment for you all. But let's talk about Aries season, because these first cards to me kind of speak to that energy in Aries, your 12th house, the hidden spiritual side of yourself. But with these cards, this is all about expression and play. So Justice came out right away. Justice to me is so much about clarity. It's those things that you've been waiting on, or you've been uncertain about, or you've been wanting that phone call, you've been wanting that conversation, you've been wanting that decision, and that ability to just say, I'm doing this, I'm committing to it, to come. Justice represents that time when that clarity is here. Now, you might be getting that phone call, that conversation that you want. I think justice is also getting really honest with yourself about what you want. And my favorite way to do this, if I'm feeling a bit foggy or indecisive, is I will get myself relaxed and then I will challenge myself to write down what it is that I'm wanting to commit to or create or whatever that I'm longing for without thinking, without like talking myself into a different version of it, or convincing myself it needs to be one way or another, or pros and consing it. I just write down exactly what I want. Even if it seems impractical, even if the part of me that's a little skeptical or structured thinks it's silly, that doesn't matter. And that's justice. That's the spirit of justice energy, is this deep clarity, this deep knowing that isn't about justifying why you want something or why you are longing for that shift. So justice is about deep clarity. And yes, I do think it will both be a call that comes from inside the house, as well as something that gets confirmed externally for you, because we also have these two wonderful messengers here, Ace of Wands and Knight of Cups. These are such fun cards. I love seeing these for Taurus. It is your birthday season coming up here, and this is a time of beautiful supportive Taurus energy. I mean, Taurus energy right now is kind of the it girl in a way. I mean, it's between you and Pisces at the moment because you both have such gorgeous energies moving through. But Taurus, you are kind of the star of the show with Uranus and North Node here. And it is about you stepping into some new patterns. And here's where those new signposts are coming in. Because Ace of Wands is all about fresh inspiration, fresh perspective, fresh magic, fresh movement through the world. It is about ideas seemingly springing from almost nowhere overnight. You know, the sprouts that are in the pot that just suddenly become little leaflets when you're growing plants inside in the spring or in the garden. The Ace of Wands brings about very exciting, very surprising new sprigs of inspiration and ideas. And the Knight of Cups brings in a lot of romance. Yes. And of course, this can be the romance of just getting into some really good music, some really good art, some really good connection to your community. This can also be the romance of your partner or somebody you're dating, really offering that up. Now, the goal with Knight of Cups is to allow yourself to have it, because once again, when something wants to come in and be good and be loving and be fun with you, let it. That is very important with all three of these first cards. They are all very forward focused. They don't want to talk about why you deserve it or don't deserve it, or how you got here, if you've earned it, They want to move forward on things. They want to explore what is next and be focused on the here and now present moment. But often what happens when we have all this new energy coming in, right? Sprouting, springing to life, it means we also need to do the work of processing and letting go of where we may be still holding on, because this is just, these two things work hand in hand. They are allies. They are they're two sides of the same coin. They are embedded in each other. They are symbiotic. It is a very natural thing. A lot of times if we're going to get a whole bunch of new energy in our system, the inner worrier is going to worry a little bit. If things are easy, if things are feeling positive, if clarity is coming in, if we are getting that opportunity we've been dreaming about and now we're living it, the inner worrier is going to be a little concerned, because the inner worrier, represented here in the Nine of Swords, likes familiarity. And even if familiarity is miserable, and we know we just cannot live another day in that same circle, that same loop, that same conversation, that same situation, it's familiar. And that inner worrier actually feels more relaxed, more at home in that miserable familiar than in like some new, nice things. And the way to work with Nine of Swords when it shows up is, rather than suppress it, berate it, judge it, say, oh God, you're so annoying that you are worried. Why would you be worried? Just be grateful, rather than badger the Nine of Swords part of ourselves that's worried, scared, just doesn't know. We want to go toward this Nine of Swords worry person, this part of ourselves that sits in us. Go toward it and wrap your arms around it and say, I'm here. That's it. That's it. I'm here. I can understand. There's a lot of new signposts. There's a lot of new information. Suddenly we're doing, we're hanging out with new people, or doing a different creative project or a different job, or getting deeper in a relationship and showing vulnerable parts of ourselves that we didn't know we were going to have to share. I get it. But I also know that we can trust ourselves. We can trust ourselves to be okay. We're always going to choose the right thing for us, I promise. So we want to go to that place and self-soothe and practice that self-soothing when we recognize that little trigger popping up. But understandably, Nine of Swords shows up when big growth is happening and when big release is happening. In this deck, it's every card is represented by a specific animal. And here we have the vulture, pretty obvious choice there in so many ways. This is an animal of, who is comfortable with the transformational processes of this physical world and also the metaphysical world. In fact, let me read the message that goes with it, because the messages in this book that comes with this deck are so beautiful. And I said the vulture, but it's the California condor, specifically. So let me read the little message that comes with this card. That which I am may not be pretty to you, but I know I serve a deep divine purpose, and I am more than happy to fulfill it. We each play our part in the divine plan, and I know without a shadow of a doubt I am playing mine. I get to take what is no longer required and transform it through a cycle of death and rebirth. The universe needs to keep its cycle of creation moving, and I am happy to be one of its stewards moving forward, stewards of transformation. It makes sense, right? Like we know this energy. This is the transformational energy of letting go, allowing the things that don't need to stay with us to release and let go. And I always mention that death is in the middle of the journey. Death is the number 13 in the deck, in the major arcana, out of 21 or 22 cards officially. So it's here in the midst of our journey. It's not an ending as much as it is a right in the middle of the exploration. And I think in Taurus, in your case, you're being asked to visit some new lands that are a little unfamiliar. And with that, the part of you that misses the familiar, that longs for something that was before, is going to be a part of that. And we're going to need to take care of it along that journey of transformation and growth. Because if we try to ignore it or push it down, it doesn't go away. We want to bring it with us. So you're being asked to let the joy come in, let the fun, let the answers, let the creativity come in, and also take some time in the midst of that to take care of your inner warrior, to grieve anything that is falling away or transforming. Give yourself sacred rest regularly. It doesn't mean you're not going to be creating or playing or getting out there, but sacred rest really has to be a part of your process this month. And I'd also mention, Aries season for you, it's right before your birthday. It's right before the return of your energy. So that means this is a time also where rest can sometimes feel even more important. So make sure you're getting it, especially before your birthday. I am going to be activating not only the Libra full moon that we will be having on April 16th, but obviously the new moon, Taurus new moon solar eclipse in your sign over on Patreon. We hang out there every single week. I do overviews of the week and we explore the energies. I would love to see you there, my beautiful friends. It's a really, really lovely community we have built over there. I would also love to see you over on my Instagram. There's only one me on there, even though there is a dupe. So I will leave the handle. Please just follow that one and we'll all be much happier, I think. I would love also to connect with you here. So if you are feeling it, it really helps me to keep doing this work and showing up here. If you would like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, connect. That really means so much to me. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I like having you around here. So I will see you in our next chat and the upcoming moon chats as well. Have a gorgeous beginning to Taurus season, my beautiful, beautiful Empress friends.